So the topic which we wanted to include in this presentation, which we wanted to cover, was that how you are going to use Scuttlebutt as a primary research tool to create your portfolio strategy or create your investment strategy.
Okay.
So for that, we need to understand what is Scuttlebutt. So the origin of the word scuttle that comes from the time of shipping, when people used to go out taking their ships to explore different places. So you make a hole in the ship's hull and causing her to sink, and they in that part or the task you basically hold drinking water. So that drinking water can survive for many days.
Okay.
So when sailors comes to when they in the break, when they come to use to drink water, they obviously exchange ideas and gossip around, rumor around. So that the word scuttlebutt came from that place. So basically, when you are basically drinking water while exchanging ideas, that's how the scuttlebutt originated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like a normal in the like new world, that is a colloquial concept of water cooler conversations, which we have in every corporate office, whether it is water cooler or coffee conversations, that becomes. And thanks to digital India, the social media is now the venue for news scuttlebutt. So you have got these Telegram channels, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., etc. So that has become a very effective tool to exchange ideas, to reach out to people you may not know, but that can help you in devising your investment strategy or reconfirms your certain beliefs out of that exchange. So some people think that scuttlebutt is sort of like has a negative connotation. It is like gossiping kar rahe hain types. But what we need to understand is that at a very basic level, scuttlebutt is exchange of ideas. You are accepting information from all sources, but you need to be careful what to accept and what not to accept, and see how you can incorporate that into your investment strategy. So right now, that's what we are going to discuss in the presentation, that how you can actually use that information which you are gathering to create your own investment strategy.
Right.
So for that, you need to understand what Scuttlebutt doesn't do. Once you understand what it doesn't do, then you are there will be much more clarity what it can do. So whenever you are investing in the markets, you are creating an investment strategy. Ultimately, you are investing in stocks. So when you are investing in a stock, there are a lot of things which you do, like reading annual reports, reading balance sheets, uh, reading about the management, how they have performed, reading, understanding cash flows, understanding valuations, whether promoter is leveraged or not, how much debt is there on the balance sheet. So all these kind of things you do, but that is part of a secondary research that you do when you are interested in a particular stock and you want to invest in that. Then you do all that fundamental analysis, which we call. But if you can do, then you have a strategy in the place. How you are going to create that strategy, that comes from Scuttlebutt.
Okay.
So what does Scuttlebutt helps in? So it helps in you to create your investment strategy. So when you're gathering information, then you can know which sector, okay, I want to be underweight or overweight, how to play that position size in the portfolio. So like, for example, I personally don't buy anything which is less than 3% of my portfolio. So my minimum allocation to a particular stock has to be 3%. I can go up to 10% also, but the minimum has to be 3%. Otherwise, I feel that it is not worth it. But sometimes what happens is you are too early into the cycle. You don't want to commit fully. But how to understand that whether you are early in the cycle or midway on the cycle, then that comes from a little bit help comes from the Scuttlebutt, which we'll discuss more in detail in the presentation.
Okay.
So similarly, does it helps you to create strategy, and your portfolio doesn't become a collection of stocks. So
Hmm.
abhi right now क्या है कि especially in the last 4-5 months when the bull run has happened, uh, uh, people portfolio has become a collection of stocks. अभी वो
Hmm.
ट्विटर पे सुना, अभी वो किसी ने व्हाट्सएप पे लिख दिया कुछ.
Hmm.
There is lot of impulsive buying happening. It is
Hmm.
not because you believe in a particular stock or you
Hmm.
believe in a particular sector. Uh,
Hmm.
it is happening because people, as you said in the introduction also, people don't want to miss out. So,
Hmm.
so FOMO, what we call as fear of missing out, that's a very strong emotion in the markets, and that can cause a lot of damage to the portfolios if not done in the right manner. So, Scuttlebutt helps you to keep the portfolio hinged to a particular strategy and not
Right.
just randomly buying stocks.
Right.
Okay. Similarly, Scuttlebutt helps in confirming the trends on the ground. Are you seeing what we are hearing?
Hmm.
Not on like social media, but
Hmm.
if I'm invested in a particular stock, uh, and a company is giving a certain commentary, a very bullish commentary, let's say.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you have to see it on the ground whether that is happening or not. So like
Hmm.
what's happening is currently, if you look at the whole lockdown phase, uh,
Hmm.
each of the FMCG companies, they are saying that June is better than May, July is better than June, and August is
Right.
better than July,
Okay.
right? So what we are seeing is that there is a consistent trend in the commentary of FMCG companies that the demand is coming back. But
Right.
a similar demand commentary is not coming from, let's say, an auto company.
Hmm.
All the auto companies are saying that the demand has come up because all the showrooms were closed for 2-3 months. So
Right.
this is the only the pent up demand, and we should not be extrapolating it further. And that's the feedback which we are getting when we are talking to the auto dealers, auto distributors, to accept tractors where there is a waiting. We are seeing that in the demand is already fading, started fading.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So whatever the management is giving the commentaries, Scuttlebutt helps you to evaluate that whether that is correct or that is a little off the mark or not.
Hmm.
Okay. Then uh, important way of doing Scuttlebutt and why we so passionately do it is that we incorporate a lot of cultural and social norms and reforms which are happening and how that is impacting our strategy. So I will be
Okay.
discussing a lot of few examples in this, that how the cultural changes that impact your investment strategy. So like if I want to give an example, in 2013 we saw that uh, it was not a like immediate, but we have become very aspirational. So the RBI
Hmm.
data, which generally comes with like a 2 year lag, it shows that the leverage in the market is going up because people are buying more loans. Uh,
Hmm.
because we were becoming an aspirational society. So
Hmm.
you are okay with buying a AC with a loan. You are okay with buying a mobile with a loan. You are okay with buying car with a loan. So buying car has been there for quite some time, but uh, even if you can pay, you will not pay. Those kind of situations were coming in the market when we are doing Scuttlebutt. Uh,
Hmm.
Similarly, there have been a lot of cultural changes, which we will discuss more about that. But that is coming, and all of that actually impacts your strategy in some way or not, because that those changes impact the demand and supply, what is happening in the markets or what is happening in the businesses. And that also decides whether a business is taking a lead, whether it's able to maintain its competitive spirit, competitive strategy, whether it is able to scale up or not. So all that cultural and cultural flux, social norms, that comes very handy when you are devising your investment strategy. Then it also helps you to do a appropriate asset allocation. So how much should you go into equity? How much should be go into debt? How much should go into gold? Like in the past few months, gold has run up, so people want more of the gold, but it has already run up. So how much you want to create, that also depends how the economy is turning up and how much you are seeing that as a safe haven. So while when we are doing financial planning for our clients, uh, apart from personal risk appetite, understanding the risk appetite of a particular client or a particular person who is working with us, we also need to see what is happening in the economy, and that for that we need to get into the bottom of what is happening on the ground. That gives us a indication that whether we want to be more in debt or equity or gold, etc. So, so it helps in forming the investment strategy, and also able to tell which are going to be your core stocks in the portfolio and what are going to be your cyclical stocks. That okay, these stocks you can stay for longer period of times, but cyclical stock you want to just play the cycle and get in and get out. So what is going to be the holding period of that stock, that needs to be decided with the help of inputs of what we are seeing it on the ground. Okay. So someone who wants to really understand understand what is Scuttlebutt and get into very theoretical stuff. I've included some sources. I mean, I don't want to go into very detail because that will become very boring. But because that is mostly theoretical. But somebody who wants to understand the Scuttlebutt from a very basic level, I would consider that some of these sources are very essential starting points. So I'll just quickly go through them. This is a very old book, almost a 25-year-old book, Philip Fisher, Common Stocks and Uncommon Profit. So it tells you the concept of Scuttlebutt, what you have to look, 15 points that you have to look in the stock, uh, how to do the due diligence about a company, the true on the feet research means you're basically going and meeting the suppliers, the vendors, the employees, ex-employees, ex-management, current management, etc. Uh, and then you're basically including that into your investment strategy. Another is these Graham's and Rodwell's newsletters, who are very famous in US. Uh, how they do Scuttlebutt, and they write a lot of stuff uh, on this topic. And all these newsletters are freely available on their website. You can just Google them and read them. They are available from like 1980s. Uh, and why that is important, because that gives you a deeper insight into the company, how the Scuttlebutt is done, what are the modes, what are the switching costs which we are looking at. So you develop a sort of a higher level of confidence and conviction in whatever you are buying. So it sort of acts as a extra layer of your research. See, what happens is, right, currently we are so bombarded with all the information. 80-90% of that information is completely useless, or it does not impact your investment strategy. But what is happening is that the focus of that, or the velocity of that news coming into the market, that is so much, and it creates a sort of a price action which forces you to take action in the portfolio.
Yeah.
But if you have done your research properly, if you have developed a certain conviction on that system, so almost I would say 80% of the news you can actually filter it out. You can say that, okay, this is not going to impact either my investment strategy or my stock business, so I will not bother about it. I can filter it out. Obviously, it comes with experience. It does not come eventually. You'll make some mistakes on the way, but eventually you'll learn over a period of time. You'll learn how to incorporate Scuttlebutt in such a way that it acts as a sort of feeder system to your research.
Investments in the securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.